Well, howdy there, folks. It's a beautiful day out here in the old capital of the Bear Republic, and I'm here with a little bit of a different story today. This is a 2.5-year-old. She was a halter horse, and so I've been putting a 30-day on her, and she's probably right about on ride 20 right now or something. So I thought it'd be cool if I pulled out the camera and we went through the checklist, and we could just show you everything that she's learned and where she's headed. That way you could kind of see it on a work in progress too. So first things first is we wanted to get her leading really well. And you see how she kind of really, now she's listening, she's following with her nose. Then let's check that back up, because that's been tough for her. Oop, right there, you see where she gets distracted. And there, she starts backing up a little more. We'll try again. See how she steps sideways, she tries to step forward into it, and there's the backup. So that's been one of her things, is she really likes to push into pressure. And I think that's because of her halter horse days. They used a stud chain on her. And with young horses, if you use a stud chain on them, it teaches them to push into a lot of pressure, as opposed to yielding to that pressure. So you see now that send off, that works pretty well. A lot of the time she's a little bit cranky. So try this again. A lot of the time she's a little bit cranky about moving around. So I always like to let her move around before I get into the saddle, because she's just that kind of horse. And she's also deaf, so she can't hear anything. So she relies all on her eyes. So that's kind of a different thing also. The people that this owner got her from, I guess, had started her under saddle, but they were using a twisted snaffle to get her to do what they wanted. So I think, so we've had to kind of work backwards a lot and work through a lot of bad habits to get her to this point, but she's looking really good now. You see these changes of direction. She sends off, but you see there's still a little spice under there, a little pepper. So we'll just let her move around a little bit. Bump, 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 bump. And then we'll ask her to face. There you go. Look up here. And then go this way. And then we'll speed her up this direction. There, that's a little bit of a good canter. She kind of tosses her head around and stuff like that, but all that kind of goes away as your horse gets more mature. Good, change direction. Speed up. There we go. So we'll look for that canter to get a little bit nicer before we'd want to A, let her rest, and B, before we'd want to get in the saddle on this thing. Good. Good change. Good speed up. There you are. See if we can get that eye. There. Okay, so we can send out either direction. We can draw her in. We can back her up. That's kind of our checklist there. We always want to go back in and check our lateral flexion and everything. But yeah, and let's try it right now even. So you see that was really difficult for her at the beginning. That's getting very soft actually now. Good girl. You hear her take a breath? Try again. There. You know, and I'm just going with her. All this bending is because she's following my hand, not because I'm really pulling on her at all. So, another thing that this little mare that we've been working on together, and a good thing to work on at home if you have an issue like this, is this little mare here, see that, is a little bit twitchy or touchy about her back legs. So instead of putting ourselves down into the danger zone there, I'd rather start by, take a look over here, thank you, getting her attention, and then desensitizing those legs. There you go, let her move around if she needs to. Normally she doesn't really care. There we go. Desensitized to all that feeling there. And then with her, because we've done this a few times now, I can reach down there and pass this rope around. Good. And we just work our way down to that heel, pick up the foot and make sure her nose is kept towards us. And you see how she kind of yanked and kicked a minute there, and then she gave it up? The moment she relaxes, we'll relax with her. Same idea, pick up, there you go, no yankiness. I like that. So we'll pick up one more time. If she still feels pretty good, we can reach down and drop that rope off her heel. And this is just a sort of a low impact, low stress way of getting through and picking up both hind legs if they're a little yanky or a little kicky. And you just don't make a big deal out of anything you don't want to be a big deal. So for instance, like I'm not going to pick her leg up 1,000 times and have her hold it there and you do all that. I'll just go through gradually day by day and we'll pick up, 3 times in a row. If there's no kicking or crankiness or anything, that was pretty good. She's doing really good today. If there's no crankiness about it, then I won't hammer the issue. I'll just let it go for the day. Pick this foot up. Oh, there's a little bit of a kick there. You see that? So then we'll hold until that struggle goes away and show her how to get rid of it. Pick up. There's no struggle there. So then I can pick up her foot while it's relaxed and drop that rope off. That way she gets used to me kind of saving her back legs from the rope. And then she's not so willing to want to be yanky or kicky for the farrier or for me. And you just go at it over time. And actually, today was the best she'd ever done. So that's why I really didn't focus too much on it. That was a really nice little move she made. So, next thing's next. We're done with the groundwork checklist because we've been working on it now for about 25 days, 24 days. And she's really learned all that stuff pretty well. So now we can move on into the saddle. It's good to go through a quick little groundwork checklist, but the more advanced they get, the shorter that groundwork time should be. Okay, little Miss Callie. We'll pull this halter off. And then real easy like we'll just slip this bit right here and let her take it. There we go, very nice. No head tossing, no nonsense. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, and so you'll see over here I'm using these split reins and just a egg butt snaffle. I tried her out with a D-ring snaffle at first and she was kind of resistive to it and didn't really like the way it felt. But this egg butt she really likes. So I figure let's just go with it, There's all sorts of different theories on what snaffle bit works best for young horses. A lot of people say that the loose ring is best to start with. And I think if you're starting with ground zero, brand new project, that might be a good idea. But, there's a reason we invented all these other bits, and that's so that we can more gently get the message through to a horse that's kind of been ruined, for lack of a better word. So, hey, come here. We'll see if she can follow that feel. There we go. So that I can get my string. Push her hip out, follow my feel a little bit. There we go. Nice. So, then, what do we do for our mount up checklist? It's just the same as always. We start with asking for a little lateral flexion. Good girl. Gives that to us pretty good. That's even nicer. All right, so then maybe we'll ask for it one more time and move her hip up. If she doesn't move her hip, give her a little tap. There we go. And she takes that nice disengaged step and stays soft, or we wait for her to get soft on the hand again. Let's try this side. There, that bend is really nice. Push the hip. There we go. Good little disengaged step. That's all we need, because she's been practicing this for 20 some odd days now. But she may need a little bit of a tighter cinch. She has these roly-poly cutting horse withers. All right. Well, there you go, Mare. Rock, push her away. Push her back towards me. Okay. Try out and swing over. Let's put this saddle back in the right spot. There we go. But she stood there the whole time, so even though that wasn't the most graceful, good to check with these young horses. So, I asked her to walk off a little bit. Let's check that bend to a stop. There we go. Let's check a bend to the left. There it is. Okay. Let's check a bend to the left, disengage, my leg back. There's the hip, good. Bend to the right. Right leg back, there it is. And you see how she's not heavy, but she's not quick to bring her neck around anywhere. So I'm not gonna yank her head around real tough. I'm just gonna pick up and kind of hold that steady pressure and let her neck come around. Nice and easy like. And there we are, we're off and walking on our 2.5-year-old filly. A little older than that, I guess now, because we're headed towards it's the fall these days. So it feels pretty good outside. So there we are, we're on a walk on a loose rein. And you see how as she's walking along here, she's really dropping her neck down and relaxing over her back. That's just kind of, we haven't taught her how to do that. We've just rewarded her when she does relax over the back. Right there, she's a little stiff, so we'll keep asking her to turn. And when she comes back to us, we can relax. So there's our walk on a loose rein. We're even able to steer a little bit, do some atomic steering. Let's pick up the trot. Right there. I'm kind of just letting her go wherever she wants to. That way she can find that if you break out of the trot, that's where the pressure happens. Try a right turn here. There she goes. And before, she wasn't able to trot at all, so she's really moving out, trotting nicely now. Before you'd have to encourage her to take a couple steps of trot, and then she'd break right back down. Now she's actually starting to move off the leg a little bit, except for when she's going where she doesn't want to go, so a small circle here. And loose rein when she's headed the direction we want. Small circle when she turns in. There you go. Small circle. Eventually she'll get tired of doing circles here and try going someplace new. There, she came a little deeper in before she turned off. There, a little deeper, and then she ducks her shoulder in. So we'll just catch her nose up with her shoulder. Catch your nose. Catch your nose. Horses are funny sometimes. There, we'll help her get the right answer a little bit by letting her come through this area and then rubbing her. So follow the rail. There we go. Nice. So then let's reverse. We'll tip that nose. Ride with her. Say, follow the rail. There, we can even try a little inside leg. See if she can get off that and follow the rail. Nice. And then we'll reverse. Catch. There it is. And then where she wants to be, we can do some work in here. Try a left turn, then right. Keep the forward motion in there. Go for some figure eights. Then we'll pick a point that seems kind of good and comfy. Sit and breathe out. Let her come to a stop. And then just back off that subtle little pressure on our fingertips. Good girl. So that backup, she really developed nicely and quickly. You know, the first 10 or 12 rides I did with her in the halter, and then we switched to the D-ring for a couple rides, and then the last 2-3 rides we switched to this egg butt, and she's really seemed to take to this one better than anything else. You see left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. She follows right along and drops her neck down nicely. So she's going to be a really nice horse. Let her think about that. Then we'll see, so we've got her hips moving, we've got her lateral flexion, we've got steering, got forward motion. We're able to bend her to a stop. We've developed a backup with her. So then we want to see if we can develop a little shoulder control. We'll tip her nose towards the rail and see if she can get off that outside leg and move her shoulders around. And this is where these rollbacks start, and actually one of the easiest ways of teaching the shoulders to move is through a rollback. So you can breathe and die in your seat. Keep your fingers closed until she backs up. Wait for the feet to be in motion and then tip. And wait for the shoulder. There she comes. And power out a little bit. I mean, she's still only a 20 ride little colt or a little filly, so I think she's doing really well for where she's at. Let's try this shoulder here again. So breathe out, sit back, nice and visible aids. Keep asking for the backup till we feel that neck relax, and then tip the nose and help her around. I mean, she can't hear me click to her or anything, but sometimes I think it helps. And now she's got some extra forward she wants to get rid of. So maybe we'll say, cool, I like that idea. Let's go for a little canter around here. There it is. And this canter was impossible for her before. She'd just stick her head up and couldn't control where she was going, or couldn't take more than about a step or two at the canter without trying to kick or buck. Now, nice and smooth. We're starting to teach her to follow her nose, and she's able to pretty much maintain it on her own. A few reminders every now and again. Tip to the inside. Get nice and round. There it is. New inside. Yeah. And that's the trouble with a deaf horse sometimes, is they'll get freaked out at stuff. But you just sit in the middle of them. They see some crap moving up there, like the American flag or something, or a bird jumping in a bush. Then you take them back on over to the scary spot. Figure out exactly what it was. Something scary over there? Sometimes, if you feel like they're really poised, you can use that scary thing to get that shoulder to move a little nicer. And then whoop. And let's try and move this shoulder through here. Good, and walk them back by. And then hoop. Hoop. Get a little heavy on the front end. You can half halter a little, put a little life in your fingers, then tip. There's the shoulder. Good girl. Then we'll pick up the trot. Little contact, that way we can catch her if she thinks the world's gonna end. Nice, I love where she's dropping her head and her neck, and she's really relaxing into this stuff. We'll let her come around at a trot here. All the way through. She's sometimes a little spooky in this corner too. And then through here, maybe we could pick up the canter. There it is. Nice canter. Then we'll ride up here and breathe out. Sit back, let the energy come down, and then wait for the backup. There we go. Yeah, what a good little mare. So the only other thing that we're going to work on with her today, because that's a heck of a lot, that's all we've covered in the last 20 days or so, plus the other day we added in a little bit of lateral control, just influencing. So just seeing if we can add a little bit of, say, inside leg and tip her nose towards the rail and move that shoulder over. You see that? Good. And then we'll tip her nose the other way, change our stick, and see if we can get that shoulder to move to the right. There it is. You see that? lost it there a little. Get one. See if we can get that back forward back. Shoulder over and out. So if they lose it or get confused, you just go back, get one step of what you want, and then we'll try it again. So we'll go for a reverse. And I'll move her up and we'll do it in the shadowy part of the arena. So, slow back down, tip nose towards the rail. Ooh, drove forward, keep the momentum going. There, nose towards the rail, keep that momentum, look for a couple steps. And then forward and out. This is a horse that loses momentum and then just stands there and takes your whatever pressure you send at it real easy. So the motion is everything. As long as she stays in motion, she'll start to get the right answer. If she stops her feet, then she's just gonna get heavy. There, nice. Moving that shoulder over. Let's reverse. And you see how she's starting to get really soft in her head and her neck from this too. This is gonna loosen her up and help her all over the place. Tip the nose towards the rail, right leg on. Good, moving that shoulder over. Real nice. And then forward and out. Look for a little trot. Then try a little lateral. Tip the nose, right leg on. There she goes, there she goes. Good girl. Right across the diagonal here. We'll try that again. Trot up, tip the nose towards the rail. Left leg on. There we go. We got some lateral steps. Good, and forward and out. Let her move out. Reverse. There we go. Nice. Nice little mare. So, breathe out. Starting to learn how to put the brakes on. There she goes. I think that's quite a lot of work for a little horse. I hope you learned that no matter whether you're working with an old horse or a young horse, basically the 14 fundamentals remain the same. It's just the process of asking a horse to do everything that a horse knows how to do. So we worked our way up through, about 7 of the fundamentals. Went about halfway. We didn't do the side pass, so the side pass and the collection will be the next steps for her. But we're in a little bit of a time frame because we're on a 30-day, so she's got a few rides left. So it's kind of now a game of polishing up what she's got and then just adding a couple more finishing touches. But yeah, so that's what a good Greenbroke Ranch horse should look like. There you are, folks. We'll let her off with that.